Hi everybody, it's Lucinda Curran here from Eco Health Solutions, and today I'm speaking with one of the speakers from the Environmental Health Conference, so Ron Erlich. Hi, welcome.
Hi Lucinda, thanks. Looking forward to the conference. It's got an
Yes.
exciting program.
Oh, totally. Now tell us so everybody knows what you do. What do you do?
Well, I am a holistic dentist. I'm also a caster, I'm a health advocate, I'm an author. But the main hat that I've worn over the last, almost 40 years, I hate to say it, but there it is I've been a holistic dentist, and that's been my focus for most of that time.
And what does that mean for somebody who has never heard that phrase before? What does that mean?
Yeah, well, it's the most common question I get asked, actually. And put simply, dentists traditionally focus on the mouth. Dentists traditionally focus on the mouth. And as a holistic dentist, we do focus on the mouth, but our primary focus is on the person attached to the mouth. And that makes a big difference, because if you're just focused on a tooth or the gum, you're focused on a very small part of the body. But when you consider that the person is attached to that, they have a digestive system, of which this is the beginning of the digestive tract. They have a respiratory system, so literally the shape and size of your mouth affects the shape and size of your upper airway. So that affects how you sleep and breathe, how well you sleep and breathe. That affects your posture, it affects your body chemistry, it affects a whole lot of stuff. It's the site of the two most common infections known to man, woman or child, and that is tooth decay and gum disease. And a lot of people now realise that the common denominator in all chronic health conditions is chronic inflammation. And because the body's connected, if you've got inflammation somewhere in the body, it will affect other parts of the body. So the mouth is the most common site of chronic inflammation. And so the links between that and other systemic illnesses are really well documented now. It's also because of tooth decay, we implant more foreign material into people's bodies than all other health professionals put together. Well, it's a big statement. I think it's true, but it certainly makes sense. We do a lot. And that's a kind of a segue into the whole environmental issue as well, which we can talk about. And it goes on. I mean, it's such a sensitive area that it's also connected with chronic pain conditions like headaches, neck aches, and jaw pain. So there's a whole lot more to oral health than people think. If you're not taking your oral health seriously, you should, because your body already does.
That's a really nice, I like that. I really like that. You want to say it again for everyone?
Yeah, absolutely. I can't say that often enough. If you're not taking your oral health seriously, you should, because your body already does. So get on board and be part of the solution rather than just a passenger in a problem.
I love that. That's so empowering.
Mm.
So what piqued your interest in environmental health?
Yeah, well, look, about 35 years ago, I became exposed to a model of stress that has kind of shaped my professional and personal journey ever since. And I found it to be a great model for asking all the right questions. And the model said that we are affected by stress. Well, that's not particularly radical. Most people would acknowledge that. But what do we mean by stress in our modern world? And to me, that means anything that has the potential to upset the balance of our health. And so I view stress as a combination of emotional, nutritional, environmental, postural, and dental stress. And I include dental stress for all the reasons I've just mentioned. It's of interest to anybody with a mouth who's interested in their health but has never fully connected the two. But the environmental health issue is a huge part of it. And really in the early 80s, when I started to think this way, environmental issues were not really that front and centre. Now we've got every government has an environment minister, and we're starting to realise the importance of it, although there's a whole lot of political and economic factors which are kind of, we struggle against. But that's why, because it's part of an overall stress model. And just because I'm a dentist focused on this, you need to be more holistic. And part of being holistic is recognising all the other things that impact on us. And then, you know, when you get into the toxicity issue for dental materials, that opens you up to a whole range of environmental issues.
It's such a big area, isn't it?
It's huge. It's
Yeah.
huge.
Now, tell us a little bit about the topic you'll be speaking on at the conference.
Yeah, well, I think, you know, people will have got a taste there of what holistic is about. And actually, I'm going to touch on two issues there, which I think give people a clue as to how important this health issue of environmental health is, and how at the sort of level at which the authorities are thinking about it. So I'm actually going to touch on the mercury issue, because there's the Minamata Agreement that's come out of the UN, which is all about eliminating mercury from our environment. And I don't think anybody would argue that mercury is toxic. So I take mercury as an example. And here, the Federal Dental Association, which represents the World Federal Dental Body, which represents 200 dental associations around the world, has signed up to the Minamata Agreement. And I'm going to quote you something that will make your listeners, it made me shake my head. And they said, we have to act responsibly. We have to think holistically. We have to be responsible healthcare practitioners. And so we need to be disposing of this material, mercury, which is half of the silver mercury amalgam filling is made up of mercury. So all those silver fillings people have in their mouth, well, actually, they should be called mercury fillings, because half of it's mercury and the other half is silver, tin, zinc, and copper, right? So the Federal Association of the World has said, we need to be holistic, we need to be responsible. Fantastic. I got so excited. And then in the next breath, they said, but it's a win-win for the profession, because we can be responsible environmentally, but we can still use it because it's the material of choice. So yes, I see your face there, Lucinda, and I kind of made the same kind of thing. I kind of thought, hang on, wouldn't a good place to start environmentally be in the human being? And what they're saying is, while it may be illegal to put it in the garbage of the toilet or down the sink, it's still okay to put it into a human being. Now, you know, we talk about IQ, intelligence. We talk about EQ, emotional intelligence, but we don't talk enough about HQ, health intelligence, our health quotient. And when I hear a major organisation like that make a statement like that about a material that no one would argue with is toxic, mercury is toxic, then we have some serious issues to deal with from an environmental health perspective. And the interesting argument there would be, yes, but the mercury that's put in the mouth is inorganic mercury, and therefore it is not adversely affected by the body. But the problem with that is that things called microbes attach themselves to inorganic mercury, and they convert it to a more methylated or bioavailable form, methyl mercury. So methylation occurs in the body because we have a few bacteria in our body. One could argue we are a vehicle for bacteria. This is where we're at from an IQ, HQ, EQ, whatever you want to call the Q perspective. And then I talk about another issue, and that is the whole fluoride issue in the water supply. And that's a whole story in itself. So that's basically what I'm going to be covering.
Wow, that is really, really fascinating. Personally, I'm hanging out to hear much more about it. And just as a final question, why should people come to the Environmental Health Conference?
Yeah, look, it is just so important. And I think the message that you've got to get from everything that you read is that your health is just too important to leave to anybody else. You cannot leave it to health authorities, because look at the level of intelligence that goes on in decisions that are made publicly. So you have to take control of it yourself. And with knowledge comes power. And while you may throw your hands up and go, what can I possibly do? Well, it turns out you can reduce your toxic load by 80 to 90% by making informed decisions. And that's what the conference is all about.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much for your time today, Ron. And I'm looking forward to hearing from you at the conference.
Thanks, Lucinda. I'm looking forward to it too.
Thank you. And everybody, if you want to come along to the Environmental Health Conference, it's happening in Sydney in October. And I'm going to put a link to the tickets down below. So make sure you grab your tickets straight away. We'll see you there.